Have the chance to sit down and say, hello, I remember you, you know, we're related, we're still connected here. That's a fragile thing. It evaporates easily. And affirming it once a day at meal times. Otherwise, there isn't time.
Hey, going fishing?
Go all the time.
Doesn't that cut into the time you spend with your family?
Nope.
Why not?
Because they come with me.
The best time for your family is your time. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
One of the simple things for parents to do to plan some good time with their children is to sit down with a piece of paper and ask the child to list some things that they would like to do together.
We have found that we actually have to schedule it. And that doesn't feel spontaneous and wonderful, but if we don't, sometimes we don't have it.
And you schedule the time with your child, not so that the child can feel wonderfully blessed by your presence. That's a bad message. You schedule the time with your child so the child knows that you are very fortunate to spend time with them.
I'm going to be going on vacation these days right here. Okay.
Family councils are good ways to come together to ask the kids what they want to do.
Okay.
And it may be as simple as saying, you know, this month we're planning a family activity for the third Saturday. You know, let's make sure we keep that day open because we're going to do that.
That builds in a child a sense of worth that I not only receive from my parents, but I also contribute to this family.
Given how busy we all are, I think families have to take time to have time to talk to each other. Make a time when just talking and being together is what we're doing.
Katie, how can you live in a mess like this? Katie, did you hear me? How can you live in this mess?
It's my room.
Well, it's my house. Every single thing in this house is something I bought for you.
You don't use it.
Like, you don't even take care of it. You know, I'm tired of this.
It's normal to have conflict. You can't raise children without conflict. You take a child that's totally dependent, by the time that child will leave your home, they'll be an independent adult. That transformation just breeds conflict. The challenging thing is to look at the conflict and recognize that my responsibility here is not to extinguish it, because that would be really to destroy those relationships. It's to figure out a way to how to resolve the conflict.
Often parents of teenagers have situations where the child plays what I call the brain drain game. And parents play into that, unfortunately.
Why would you let me have it? It's not something that you absolutely need. No, you can't have it. Everything you get is not something you absolutely need. That's the difference. I'm out making the money. That's it. We won't discuss this anymore. So if I got a job, could I get it? No.
Don't play that game with them. When they start doing that, then say to them, when you're ready to talk and your voice is as soft as mine, I'll be glad to talk to you. And then just walk away. Most teenagers have the capacity to continue to argue, and they have a lot more energy than parents do, and parents will lose out.
In our culture, we see too often teenagers as a special breed of something, a phase that they're going through. And I think sometimes the very way in which we see them gets in the way.
If children seem to change in teenage years and go from receptive, polite, kind beings to aloof, resentful, closed, non-communicative folks, the worst thing in the world the parents could do is decide, oh, now what do we do? Now from 13 to 19, this is what we're stuck with.
Steve, can I talk to you for a moment?
Yeah, Mom, what's up?
What are you guys watching in there?
Just a video.
The key to effective discipline is to have talked in advance about what the rules and what the consequences will be, especially at a time when we're not upset and we're both feeling good. Then when the time comes that we have to enforce the rule, we've had a prior understanding, and the child doesn't view it as something we're doing because we're mad or upset or older, and somehow we get a charge out of making them unhappy.
The number one thing is to choose your battles. And you can't have everything have equal importance. So choose those things that are the most important and maybe ignore or minimize those other things.
Sit back and let you get away with this.
If expectations are clear, and if they know that even when they've done something that you don't approve of, that you don't want them to do, that you're still there, that you're going to get through this, then the whole conversation gets easier.
But we can't control them. We can't make them be who or what we want them to be.
Well, if the parents said to them,
You don't want to do it?
look, I'm sick and tired of trying to communicate to you and having you sit there and say nothing. I don't know of a child in the world that would say, oh, I apologize, Mother. Thank you for pointing that out to me. No, the response is going to be either more silence or an intensification of refusal to communicate.
When you look into my eyes, are you listening? Can you read between the lines and see inside me?
Growing up is awful. It's hard. And I think it's getting harder. I'm looking at my children and saying, they're facing things I never dreamed of, I never had to deal with, and it's tough. It hurts. They need a lot of encouragement. They need to be able to find strength with you. And if you offer them that, they'll take it.
The teens that I've worked with have been willing to talk with their parents and tell them things, not because their parents possess some special ability, but because, as they said, I can go and talk to them. I can tell them things.
They may be ready to talk at midnight, or they may be willing to talk for a few minutes on their way out the door. And I think the task for parents is to take advantage of those opportunities when they are willing to talk to you, instead of having to still have control and have it on the parents' time schedule.
If I open up the door, will you be ready? I promise I'll be there for sure. Let's just keep trying.
When you're talking with your teenager, they need a parent. They need someone who has some good, kind, wise, I've had a little experience kind of counsel with them.
Yeah, but it's a lot tougher than I thought it would.
I find that they are as willing to be taught as any other age group, and in some ways maybe more willing to be taught.
Katie?
I'm sorry. You know, I came home and I was in the worst mood. Everything went rotten today, and I guess I took it out on you. I'm sorry.
If a parent is able to sincerely say, I'm sorry, that doesn't in any way lessen their authority or their power in the home. It actually invites the child to see them in a different light.
When a parent can say to a child, I'm sorry, I've disappointed you, I was wrong, I was angry, forgive me. I think that's almost or perhaps stronger than I love you.
You can find my